Hey everybody, Stephen Wicks here, BlackBusinessList.com, and you're watching BBL TV Money. This is the show that we put together to work with you to help you get business financing. And we're always joined by our great member, Mr. Ron Garnett of Garnett and Associates, who created a platform designed to be able to give you access to capital. And so we're going to have a great show today. We've sent out the invitations. Feel free if you want to join us on the show today. Ask any questions that you may have about business funding. Maybe you've tried to get funding before and it didn't quite work out, or maybe you're trying to get it in the future. Or maybe you just want another lending partner. You need access to capital. Whatever questions or comments that you have, please join us and feel free. And you can actually come on screen with us as well. If you're interested in coming on screen, leave a message and I will definitely make sure you get the link so you can come on. And that's a great way to advertise your business as well to get some good exposure. Okay, so we're going to play the intro and we're going to be right back with Mr. Ron Garnett of Garnett and Associates. We will be right back. All right, we're back, guys. Again, that was a very quick little intro, but we definitely want you to join us. These sessions that we have, these shows that we put together, is about giving you access to capital. We want all of your questions answered. We don't want you going into 2022 without having the resources that you need to be successful. And so we partner with Mr. Ron Garnett of Garnett and Associates. We've created a platform called Cash to Fund. And so, Mr. Garnett, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself to everybody and how you doing today?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing, Stephen?
Doing great.
Well, as you said, my name is Ronald Garnett. I'm the owner of a firm called Garnett and Associates, and what we are commercial finance consultants. Primarily, that means that we find money for our clients who can't get bank loans.
Yes, that is one of the big things because many of us who, especially when we're first starting out in business, our first thoughts are, if I need access to capital, I need to go down to my bank and I need to go ahead and get a loan. But what we're finding in this industry is that Black business owners, because of the statistics, have had a harder time, and also because of other factors, have had a hard time actually getting the funding. So the fact that you have come along and you've partnered with folks and you've got over 250 private lenders, not necessarily the banks, but private lenders. And you have a variety of sources, and that's one thing that I think is really good about your system, is that you have a variety of sources. But typically what that means is that you can get people funded easier than if they just go down to their bank and sit down and talk with those folks. And so that's why we're here. And we want to get access to you. We want to make sure that our members can get any of their questions answered. That is the biggest thing I want to drive home today during this live broadcast. What questions do you have? If you're watching and you have any question, there's no question that's a bad question. But
No,
yes, sir.
that's true. And what we do is there are two markets. There's the traditional market, which is banks, and the alternative market that we deal with. Now, traditional market just primarily means that the money that a bank has is insured by the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation. And anytime you have federal regulations like that, the funds are harder to receive because the government is essentially backing up the assets of that bank. So with that being in place, banks are governed by regulations, by regulators who come in and see what kind of loans they have made. I mean, I think we have all heard about news stories about banks that were taken over by the government with FDIC, where they would close them down. come in and take over their accounts because they have had bad loans and their assets are in danger, and the government is backing up the deposits of their customers up to I think $100,000 or so. So banks are regulated. Now, in the alternative finance market, the good part is the funds are unregulated. The bad part is you're dealing in an unregulated market. So you can get funds, but you have to watch out for people who will try and take advantage of the situation or take advantage of you. Uh, what we do is we have transparency in our process. You know who's getting paid, you know what interest rates are, you know all the aspects of the loan process, and you never get involved in any kind of a loan deal until you say, yes, I want to do this loan. So, and you get to say how much of the loan you want. You might get approved for 100,000, you need 50, you get a loan 50,000. So you're in control. Now, one thing, especially among African Americans, is that for years we've been taught to do the right thing. That means you go to work, get a job, put your money in the bank, have a checking account, savings account, have your mortgage, your car, whatever, through a bank. That does not guarantee you adequate funding from a bank. Because if you're a startup, banks, because of regulations, well over 90% of the time, probably 99% of the time, will not do startup funding. That is, if you say, I got a great idea, I want to start a company, I got experience, I got a business plan, so forth and so on. I got my checking account with you, my savings account with you, I got my credit cards with you, I got my mortgage with you, I pay everything on time. I need $100,000, $50,000 to start my business. Most of the time, they're going to tell you, we don't fund startups because of our regulations. We don't fund startups. I think I've told this to you before. I'm a SCORE mentor, and a couple of years ago, I did a SCORE webinar, and the person presenting the webinar had a SCORE client who was looking for funding. And this was a wealthy individual. He had like $1 million in his bank account at the bank. He went to his bank to ask for a startup loan for a business idea for $250,000. They told him, no, we don't do startups. And his response was, I have $1 million in this bank. You mean to tell me I can't borrow $250,000? They said, no, our regulations and our underwriting process would not allow us to do a startup loan. So you can have money in the bank. You can do everything you want to. You generally are not going to get a startup loan because banks look for 2 years of revenue of like $200,000 per year. They look for collateral, look for clean credit for the business and personally, and they look for a good credit score of 700 or around that typical figure. So if you walk into a bank and ask for a loan for a startup, you're generally disqualified when you walk in the door. So you're asking for something that they don't give. What we're talking about with the cash to fund .net are signature loans. Signature loans that require no collateral. It's
Hmm.
based on your credit score and your credit history, and there's no collateral required. And the money is put into your bank account, and there are no fees attached to it until you actually get the money. Now, I will say this. This may not be for everybody. If you have a history of delinquency on your bills, if you have a history of collections, you're not going to get funding because
Hmm.
this money is for people who the banks can trust. Now, I will tell you one thing. I told you that the traditional market of banks who are regulated,
Hmm.
banks make profits when they make a loan. That interest, those are profits. That money is unregulated money. The alternative finance market generally comes from banks loaning out their profits at a higher interest rate to loans that the regulators won't let them do. So the difference between the traditional market and the alternative market, you're dealing primarily with the same people. It's just that the money comes from different sources.
Hmm. I want to stop you right there. I want to say if you're watching at home or if at work, wherever you are, and you have any questions whatsoever, we've got Mr. Ron here to answer any questions. If you need funding or if you've tried to get funding in the past and you've had problems, or if you had no problems and you just simply want to ask about his program because he gives you access to some individuals may qualify up to $400,000. So if you need to flip a home, if you need to purchase equipment for your business, if you need to open up a new location, or whatever your expansion plans are, he's a great source for you to be able to get some of those funds. So ask any questions. He's here. We'll get them answered. We bring him here every week, every Wednesday, so that he's available to answer those questions and get you started getting access to a new source of capital. So, Mr. Ron, so you've encountered folks trying to get funding for a while. What
Yes.
would you say is the one of the biggest things that we need to do in order to get ready to be able to get some of these funds that your program has available?
Okay. Well, um, truthfully, okay, I'm trying to put this in everyday terms.
Okay.
Say you're a guy, Stephen Wicks. I know you're a happily married man. You're always talking about your wife. But suppose you're going out on a date. You might want to shave, get your hair cut, you
Yes.
know, put on some clean clothes, you know, and get your car washed. You're going to pick her up. Have enough money if you're going to take out to dinner to pay for the meal and the movie, whatever.
Hmm.
What you have to do is remember you're basically dealing with banks who are lending out money with no collateral. They don't know you. You might be the best person in the world, but you're one of 10,000 people applying for funding. So,
Hmm.
one, look at your credit. Do you have collections outstanding? Is somebody suing you because you would not pay them? If you are in that situation, go ahead and try and take care of that before you apply for the money. It's gonna come up. We look at your credit for all three credit bureaus. So if you have Experian, Equifax, TransUnion, and you got a debt on TransUnion, and for some reason Experian and Equifax don't have it, you're not gonna slide that through. We're gonna get all three, and we're gonna ask you what happened to the TransUnion. What's this about? We want you to clear that up. So, also, they would like to have what we call trade lines. That is where you have like two, three, or more situations where you are paying people back,
Mm-hmm.
where you have gotten something and paid people back. It could be like a department store, something where you got a car loan, you got a mortgage, you got credit cards that are not too high. Those are trade lines. Also, with your credit cards, don't run your credit cards up to the limit. Banks are looking at, well, let's try and do 30 to 40% usage on your credit cards.
Mm-hmm.
This is the real life situation that I ran into. I had a client who qualified for a loan, but the loan created a situation so that she got the loan, she was so close to the debt credit ratio situation that the loan disqualified her from getting the loan. So, and I told her, well, uh, we got to handle the situation.
Mm-hmm.
But, she was saying, well, that's too much. And one thing I'm going to say, if you want to do this, there are two types of people. You got people who want to build wealth for somebody else and build wealth for yourself. And you got to be
Okay.
serious about it. If you're trying to build wealth, no one's going to walk up to you, slip 100,000 in your pocket and say, have at it. You're going to have to be serious about it, okay? In this situation, this client had 2 cars, and she was paying on 2 cars. I said you need to sell a car. If you sell one of your cars and give it up, you can qualify for the loan. She decided to keep both cars. So you got to be serious about it, and it might take some sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
If you've gone to college, you just don't show up as a freshman and somebody walks up and hands you a degree and say, here you go. You got a degree from our college university. It means something because you've gone through something to get it.
Yes. And to that end, one of the things we're going to create is a special group within BlackBusinessList.com, BBL, for people who are interested in leveling up their financial status in terms of credit, personal credit and business credit. And we're going to, it's not a get rich quick or some quick fix. It's more of let's learn these strategies so that we're always going to be good. We're never going to be in a situation where you can't get whatever funding you want. We want to have excellent credit. We want to have excellent reputations in business. So we're going to create a special group where we're going to help motivate each other. We're going to get experts like you and others to come in and help us get on track so that our businesses can be successful. Because just like relationships, one of the biggest reasons why businesses fail is because they run out of money. They run out of money before they figure it out. And that's the thing, it's hard. Business is hard. You have conditions that can change. Ask Blockbuster Video.
Yes.
They had a Blockbuster on almost every corner at one point, and now you can't find a Blockbuster Video. And so
that's true.
Just because things are going good now doesn't mean that it's going to be going good. Look at what COVID. Look at all these companies that made money off of tourism and events. And then all of a sudden, just like that, nobody saw this coming.
No.
And so you have to be prepared so that you can withstand anything that happens. And a lot of times you need access to capital. And so if you have great credit, then people will be willing to give you money. So we need to work on that proactively, not wait until you need the money to try to get it figured out. But we need to make sure that we're in an excellent position from day one. And so that's what this group will be focusing on.
That's an excellent idea, because the rule of thumb is that If you go to a lender or a funder and you're in a desperate situation, that's the wrong time to ask for money.
Yeah.
You want to try and get funding when things are at least even keel or going good, because you are a better credit risk, because it's uncollateralized money. They're just relying on your word that you're going to pay them back. They don't know you. And while you might be a great person, if you don't have any history of paying anybody back, they are probably going to look at you like, why should I loan this person money? And are they going to pay me back? Because they want to get paid back. So now, one thing I want to say is that we got to be serious. I got to emphasize, you got to be serious about this. I mean, now one group of people that uh, we want to talk to are maybe people who want to be on a Black business list, who want to start businesses.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people are working in corporate America on jobs where they're making a good income, whatever, paying the bills. And for some reason or another, they've hit a glass ceiling. They cannot, you're never going to get promoted. You could work at this place for 10, 15, 20, 30 years, and you are going to be in that same position.
Yes.
And you have good ideas, but you need funding to open your own business. That's the perfect time to ask for funding while you have a job, because this money, once it's given to you, you don't have to explain to anybody
Mm-hmm.
at all.
Mm-hmm.
There's no strings attached to it. Once it's put in your account, you can go to your boss and say, I'm through. Start your own business. I don't advise that. I advise you get a business plan.
Yes.
And deal with the money in an expeditious manner so you can use it to build more money. But you have that latitude. If you're trying to start a business and say you're working a job making $50,000, $60,000, $75,000 a year, if you can get $250,000 or $300,000 or $400,000, whatever, you feel a lot better starting that business knowing you got a cushion there.
Mm-hmm.
Now, those people, there's a term that is not my term. I think Dr. Boyce Watkins used the term, being caught on a corporate plantation, where you're working for somebody, you're getting a living, but you know you're never going to be that partner. You know you're never going to get what's so high.
Mm-hmm.
You know that when hard times come, you're going to be the first to get cut. There's no such thing now as job security, white collar or blue collar. I know situations where people in 2008, 2009, 2010, working on Wall Street, making $1 million a year, walked into their office and found they were being laid off. They were being terminated. And they were spending $1 million a year.
Wow.
Now, they had skills where they probably could have made $1 million a year using those skills to work for themselves at consulting work, because they were doing the same thing. They could have gone and hired themselves out to do these same things, working for themselves.
Well, I think it's important to note that it's not for everyone, and we do need people to work. And
Yeah,
so I think that it's important for entrepreneurs to try to figure out who you are. Are you an entrepreneur, or are you better suited to work for somebody else? And there's absolutely nothing wrong with being, a lot of times entrepreneurs, I think we have this thing where it's almost like this snooty thing, like, you know, profits over wages,
yeah.
but there's nothing wrong with this
No,
honor in work, right?
I agree.
And when we own businesses, we want to make sure that we have people working for us who actually enjoy working for someone and doing a good job
Right.
at the end of the day. But this message and what we're saying is we're targeting those entrepreneurs who know in their heart of hearts that they're just not going to be happy in working for someone else. I need to have my own business. I had to have my own enterprise, and I need funding. I need access to capital. I need money to make this happen. So that's who we're talking to. We want to be explicitly clear that if you're hesitant, or if you don't know if it'll work, if you have that type of attitude, don't go down this road. Continue to work on your credit. And maybe later on, when you get to the point where your confidence level is high, then you can take that leap, because this is not for the faint of heart. This
No,
isn't for people who are kind of wishy-washy. If you take on a loan to start a business and you're starting out the gate and you're questionable, you'll never last.
right. That's true. Like I said before, this is not for everybody. It's not for everybody. But if you have the desire to start your own business and build your own wealth, money does not have to be the determining factor.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't have to be the thing that stops you from fulfilling your dream. Now, if you don't want to work for yourself, there's nothing wrong with that. Dedicate yourself. But you know in your heart of hearts, if you're happy, work for somebody else, or if you have that feeling, well, I can do this better on my own, then I want to work for myself.
Mm-hmm.
That's an internal decision. What we're saying here is that money is not a factor anymore in stopping you from reaching out for what you're talking about. I've had plenty of people who have said, I want to start my own business. And I said, okay. And I said, I worked with them. I said, okay, I got you the money. And they said, well, I really don't want to do it. I said, if you don't want to do that and you're happy where you are, don't take that leap.
Mm-hmm.
But if you are, what we're saying here with this cash2fund.net or BBL cash2fund.net, money is not the thing that's going to hold you back. Something else will hold you back, but it won't be the money.
It won't be the money. All right. Well, let's go ahead and run into your commercial. Guys, Mr. Ron put together this beautiful commercial for cash2fund.net, just animated. I love it. I loved it when he first showed it to me. But it really gives you some details, too, about the program. And so we're going to go ahead and take a commercial break and run this, and we'll be right back.
Cash to Fund can help you get the cash you need. We provide up to $400,000 in unsecured funding for business or personal use. We have relationships with over 250 lenders nationwide. Through the use of our proprietary software, we are able to secure over 80% more funding for our clients. We help clients obtain funding for real estate investment, business startups, down payment assistance, working capital, medical, legal, education, funeral expenses, and more. We also provide 100% financing on fix and flips if you can qualify. We do not offer credit cards or lines of credit, which can later be revoked. Our loans are funded solely in cash to our borrowers in 5 to 7 days. There are no prepayment penalties and no collateral requirement. Leverage our expertise to obtain fast approvals. No upfront costs and affordable payments with cash going straight to your checking. So what are you waiting for? Let Cash to Fund make that next deposit to help with your funding needs. Visit us online at cash2fund.net or call 706-513-4703 to start your funding today.
All right, guys, we're back. We're back with Mr. Ron Garnett of CashToFund.net. And, we put together a special little program for our BBL members, BlackBusinessList.com members. It's bbl.cashtofund.net. You can go here and fill out this quick little form, and it will get you pre-qualified, so to speak, for this loan. It's not a hard credit pull at all. I want you to understand that there's no hard credit pull. I know that's a big thing for some folks, is that they really want to protect their credit score, and they're always concerned about that, as you should be. But this process does not do a hard credit pull, so you don't have to worry about that. Just get started with the process. Go to the bbl.cashfund.net and go ahead and try it out. For our members, you got that link in your email that went out, so you can just click the link in the email. It'll send you directly to that page where you can go ahead and get started. And again, this isn't a get rich, get quick scheme. This is serious access to 250 lenders that can get you a substantial amount of money to go ahead and start your business or keep your business going. And you need to approach it very intelligently of how you use these funds. For the right person, they can get this program, and it's to the moon, right? So we want to make sure that your mind is right, that everything is together. Go ahead and apply, and they'll take care of the rest.
Okay, can I say one thing?
Absolutely.
Sure. Now, one thing in a commercial that I think people overlook is that we can get you more money for your project than a bank's going to lend you. For example, if you do have a great relationship with a bank,
Mm-hmm.
your checking account, your savings account, your credit cards, your house, your car, whatever, and you're on time, you got a great credit score, they may give you some money, but it may give you $15,000, $20,000. If you're lucky, it may not be a business loan, just might be some kind of other loan. They want collateral for it, but you need $100,000, $150,000. What we do is, since we have so many lenders, we can divide the process and divide the risk.
Mm-hmm.
Say, for example, you in business and you get a project and you need $150,000 to service the project. You might go to the bank because of your history and you're running money through the bank. They might give you $20,000, but you need 150.
Mm-hmm.
What we can do is we might bring in 5 different lenders. Well, one might give you 15, one might give you 50, one might give you this and that, so that you get 150,000. But the risk is divided maybe among 4 or 5 or 6 lenders. So that's what we mean. We get you 80% more than money, because you don't have one person or one institution assuming all the risk. And which is why this is such a good program, in that you do have risk spread among different lenders. And now the issue is going to be, we transparent everything. Each lender might have a different, interest rate, but the interest rate is normally going to be around the same thing. So you have an aggregate interest rate. Interest rates start at like 7%. They normally run around 7, 8, 9, 10%, depending on your credit. Now, I will say that some of loan programs, especially programs that do the revenue-based loan, where they will take what you make every month and get you 9 to 10% of that as a loan. and those and the credit card advances, by what your credit card usage is, once you get in credit cards, those loans are called factors. I mean, those loans be running 50, 60, 70, 80, 100, 200%.
Mm.
Got to pay them back within like 6 months or so. And they take the money right out of your account. You don't get a chance to pay it. They just snatched at your account. That is not this type of loan, okay?
Mm-hmm.
You get the money and you get a payment plan back for within starting 30 days. And I think the commercial said there are no prepayment penalties. So that you can pay it back in 60 days, 80 days. You might have a 7-year note or 7-year or 5-year plan. You get the money in a year, you pay it back with no prepayment penalties. But that is why we can get you more for your project that you could normally get from a bank.
Mm-hmm.
If you get money from a bank. That's a big if, though, too.
If. Right.
Very, very, very big if. That's a very big if.
Yes, sir. All right. Well, we keep getting folks that pop in. They say they want to come in, and let's see if we got somebody trying to come in now.
Okay.
Hopefully.
I saw somebody pop up. They went back out.
Yeah, he was there for a hot second.
Yeah. Yeah. So
looks like he was mobile. So sometimes when you're mobile, you're on your cell phone, the signal cuts in and out. Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying is that almost everyone has started a business, and there's nothing more discouraging than going from bank to bank to bank to bank, being told no, 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 no. You don't have anywhere to go. And I think I told you the story when I first started my first business. I just happened to know somebody who I had known since I was a little boy. And I decided to do the business with a black guy to buy my first desk and chair.
Yes.
And I went to him, and he just took me across the street to the bank and co-signed a note for me. And that's how I got money. Because I went there. I went everywhere you're supposed to go. Get money.
Yeah.
And I got laughed out. Of the at the business. I mean, they were very polite, but you walk in and I know I'm discouraged that we're not. That we're gonna listen to you, but let me hear what you're gonna say. Mm-hmm. So I can get rid of you because I got somebody else I really want to deal with coming in next. And if you go to 3 or 4 people like that, you see the look, the attitude and whatever, and that's very discouraging. I think you had a statistic where I think over 1/3 of the black entrepreneurs feel they didn't even feel welcome going into a bank trying to apply for money.
That's real.
Yeah, I was one of those people. I mean, after I went to 1 or 2, and I did go to some agencies that were supposed to help minority people in business, they laughed at me too. They laughed at me too.
It happens. It happens. We've got to, and that comes with education. We need to catch these people when we find someone or come across someone who's an entrepreneur and they have talent and they want to do their own thing. We have to grab them early and help guide them so that they can make good decisions. You can go a very long time doing it wrong, doing it the wrong way. You've got all the right attitude, you've got talent, but you simply don't know how to operate a business profitably and correctly. And that can cost you in the long run, even though you're talented, even though you're excellent at what you do, your craft or some service or product that you offer, you can still fail because it's business. And what we find is that there are some people who know the business side, but they're not as talented, but they'll be more successful than you because they understand the business. And so, business is business. And so we have to get those skills and we have to know what we're doing so that we can have the outcome that we deserve. And so sometimes that takes somebody grabbing us by the hand and say, hey, look, I see what you're trying to do. Let me give you some advice.
Yeah, that's true. Now, that's not necessarily me, but because I'm on the financial side.
Right.
But once you get the money, you really might need to go to somebody and say, how do I make this money work for me? If I don't know, I might be a great, person cooking. I might be a great chef, but I may not know how to run a restaurant. I may not know how to be a caterer. I may not know how to market what I'm doing. So I might be able to get you the money to start the restaurant business, but I can't necessarily give you any advice on how to run a restaurant. You should go to somebody and get some help in doing what you are trying to sell, because an entrepreneur or a business owner is in a unique position, because by and large, you are asking somebody to give you money, and I'll give you some benefit in return for that money.
Yeah, L. Hodge Harris says true. He understands.
So
yes, sir.
So you have to really understand that if you are people in a business, people buy benefits. They don't necessarily buy products or service. They buy the benefit that product or service is going to give to them. All right, the Black Business List. People join the Black Business List because they perceive a benefit. You're going to, like me, when I joined the Black Business List, I said, well, I'll be able to run that commercial to different people on the Black Business List.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the benefit was that I would get my message out to different business owners. The same way with if you're selling shoes or shirts or ties or whatever, or a restaurant or whatever you're selling, where you're accountant or whatever, you were selling the benefit that people are going to pay you for the money.
Mm-hmm.
So, and that's a learned skill. And sometimes you got to have people will help you. There are plenty of places you can go to get that skill. But you got to be willing to listen. You got to be willing to take the money that we can give you and turn it into more money. Mm-hmm. Money is just a tool. Use this tool, like, for example, to make an analogy. This money might be bricks and nails and hammers and whatever, so you can build a house or build something. The money just taken and just laying there is not going to build you that house.
Right.
So you have to use it for something else, to create something else. If the winter time's coming, nobody's ever covered themselves in money and kept the cold out.
That's actually a great analogy too, because with a hammer and a nail, if I get that hammer and a nail and I'm beating that nail to death and I'm just beating it into the ground, I'm working, I'm doing something, but I'm not helping to build the structure I'm trying to build.
Correct.
So you can spend your money the wrong way too. You can get a whole bunch of money thrown at you and you could be spending it, but you're not spending it in a way that's going to bring increase to you.
Yes.
So that's a very good analogy. I love that.
The benefit of it.
Right.
Look at the benefit of it. And you can't hoard it either. You got to know how to spend money. You have to have, how to use money. And I hear a lot of people say, well, I don't want to get in debt. Most people who are successful use other people's money to build their business. A lot of people do not finance themselves because you're only going to limit yourself. You're going to limit yourself to what you can make, or you're going to limit yourself to how much you can charge your credit cards at 19 or 20%. And what happens when you run out of that? Then you are you've painted yourself into a corner and you got too much debt. Remember what we said about debt credit ratio?
Yeah.
You might be making all kinds of money, but if you got your credit cards maxed out, no one's going to loan you money because you maxed out your credit cards.
Well, Mr. Ron, we've got somebody joining us, Miss Vanessa. So, hello.
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
I'm finding yourself. How are you guys doing?
Doing
We're
great.
doing great.
Great.
How about you?
I'm doing wonderful. I'm actually an entrepreneur here in Las Vegas. I am Black Loyalty Systems. We actually we're trying to connect all Black businesses on under one virtual roof with a unique system that's ran by the telephones. And I would like to find out about a little bit more about funding.
Okay.
And so that's why I'm here.
How can we help you?
Okay, so I was under an impression that you guys were going to tell us a little more about how we can get some funding for the business, because I have more than one actually.
Okay. Well, first of all, I think, Stephen, can you run that link again? If you want to know what you qualify for, go to this link right here.
Okay.
Now, it'll take you, they will ask you some questions. Now, in this link, there are going to be two funding avenues, so to speak.
Okay.
One, if your credit is 650, 620 or above. And if another path, if your funding is 619 or below. You follow the instructions.
Okay.
Once you go through that process, takes about 5-10 minutes or something. You will be given an idea of how much money you can possibly qualify for.
All right. Thank you very much.
Then they will ask you to provide some information.
All right.
If you are self-employed, they're going to want, your verification of how much you're making. Like 2 years of what your income tax returns. They're going to want your front and back of your driver's license. They're going to utility bill to make sure that you at the right address. They're going to want a voided check, and they're going to want like a month or two of bank statements to know that you actually have a bank account, because that's why they're going to put the money.
Okay.
So, and once you provide the information, you will be told if you qualify for funding, how much you qualify for. Now, what happens is we have over 250 lenders. We will see how many lenders will want to fund you.
Okay. Can I ask you a question?
Of course.
how does this apply to people that having a startup? If a startup, you don't have any tax tax
Okay.
numbers
All right.
like that.
Okay. Well, if you're a startup, you should have a job. You do your W-2 forms.
Mhm.
And because we take a W-2 form also.
Mhm.
And if you're a startup, I would suggest don't start up a business if you're unemployed, because no one's going to lend you money if you're unemployed. Okay.
Mhm.
So if you want to start a business, the first thing you need to do is get a job where you can get a W-2 form and you can show you have some kind of income.
Okay, can I can I explain something? Then
Sure.
my category my category is I'm actually was it labeled disabled, so that's the reason why I'm not working. But
Okay.
it's at the same time, I think that there should be some funding for people that's like other people that's like myself that's
Can,
on
can I
on
say
benefit.
something? Can I say
Sure,
something, ma'am?
sure.
Uh, your disability check does not disqualify you. If you
Okay.
get disability, like Social Security disability or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, you
Right.
can get a 1099
Right.
every year saying how much you make.
Uh-huh.
You will submit that 1099 instead of a W-2 or
Oh.
a income tax form. That's
Oh,
what you
okay.
submit. You submit the 1099.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Okay. Now, once you get into the link, it will tell you what type of financial verification they want, and they said W-2, 1099, or income tax. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so if you're disabled, you're not disqualified. You submit you get that 10, you get a 1099, what your disability funds
Mm-hmm.
were. You submit a copy of that. You upload that. Okay.
Okay.
Now, we don't do hard pulls on your credit. You will be required to create a credit monitoring account that on a platform or a credit reporting service that has all three with the credit history and credit score. You will get that report. You will upload it on the link to us on
Mm-hmm.
the funder so they will know that's why it's a soft pull.
Okay.
Now, one thing I want to emphasize,
Mm-hmm.
we always have a path for success.
Okay.
If you have something on your credit or something that will make you unable to be funded right now,
Mm-hmm.
we will get with you if you want to. But we don't beat you on the head for this, okay?
Okay.
If you want to, we will help you create a path for success to get funded.
Okay. Thank you. I appreciate that. Then
So,
I'll go on there right now and take care of it right after you guys get off. And I
okay,
appreciate you
now,
taking out the time.
so we don't tell anybody, no, we're not going to fund you like a bank will do.
Mm-hmm.
What we tell you is you can't get funded right now through one of our 250 lenders.
Mm-hmm.
This is the problem that we have. Let
Mm-hmm.
us sit down with you and create a path for success
All
so
right.
you can get money. Now, it might not necessarily be snapping your fingers. You might have collections on your credit report. You've
Oh,
got
I'm
to
sorry.
fix those,
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry.
things such as that. So I
Mm-hmm.
don't know. So it's such an individualized process. I can't tell you what your path for success will be. All I can say is we will get one for you to get a path to success. I mean, it could be you need to continue. You might have to pay off a bill. It might be you need to get a new. You got to be. We also require to have like a couple of like 3 trade lines. That's like 3 people you're paying. So have a history that you're paying people back. You might need to get a couple of trade lines. That might be like a credit card, could be an account with a department store, could be anything that reports to the credit bureau, okay, that you can verify.
But it could be straight approved immediately.
But it should get approved immediately, okay? So we don't know. It's all individualized.
Yeah.
But did I answer your questions?
Yes, you did. Thank you very much. I appreciate you.
Well, you're welcome. All right.
Yes, ma'am. Thanks for calling. Thanks for joining us. Okay. What's the weather like in Vegas?
Always hot.
Always hot.
Always hot.
Oh goodness.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks for hey, do you have a website or anything? Do you want us to bring up anything? Do you want to promote anything while you're here?
Yes.
Okay.
BlackLoyaltyMerchandise.com.
I think I see the link here. All right, let's see. Oh yeah, that's nice. Let me bring it up on the screen so everybody can see.
Then they can read about everything that I'm trying to do there.
Okay, let's see. All right, let's go ahead and bring up this. Look at that.
Yes, that's it.
Okay.
So you're trying now. Explain. Now, see, this is going to need one more time. Explain to us a little bit about what you do.
Okay. I actually have a. Oh my God, am I still here? I think.
Yes. Yes. You're here.
I think you lost her.
Uh-oh.
I think she sell products.
I think let me see. She's still here. Miss Vanessa? It might be a signal or something. Oh, here she is.
Yeah.
Okay, so you'll see quite a bit.
Wow.
It's a lot to learn on the page. So you guys, I appreciate you showing it to us and everybody, and hopefully we'll get somewhere.
Okay.
All right.
Now remember, just follow the instructions.
Okay.
And when you go to the link, and remember, we don't tell anybody no and walk away from them.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't get funding right now, we will get with you and say, let's create a path for success so you can get funding in the future.
Okay.
And I will say one thing.
Mm-hmm.
We are not in the credit repair business.
Okay.
We are in the loaning money business.
All right.
So if we create a path for success, we want you to take the initiative and work with us to do whatever we suggest ASAP so we can get you money.
Okay. And I'm willing to help and do whatever I need to do.
Okay, so we'll tell you what you need to do to get our funders to get you the money.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people give up because they say, well, it's too hard.
Right.
Well, running a business is a lot harder than trying to get this money. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.
All right.
All right. Thank you. Man, that was awesome. So yeah, I mean, people are out here and they're trying to do these great things in business, and many of them tried to get a bank loan and they just stopped trying because you actually keep trying, and that could really damage your credit score if you keep pulling your credit.
It destroys your credit score.
Yeah.
I mean, it really destroys it because they'll run your credit and it'll do 2 things. You go to a bank like I did. I mean, I made that mistake. I went to 3, 4, 5 different banks, and they'll run your credit, tell you no, And what happens is this: every time you run that credit, it destroys your credit score drops and drops and drops. But it also, you can't have a number of inquiries on your credit and qualify. I think 2 is the limit. You have more than 2 inquiries on your credit, you got to wait 6 months to reapply. So if you go to 5 banks, they tell you no, you might lose 100, 120 points off your credit, and you are disqualified from applying for anything because you got too many inquiries.
Yeah.
So you got to be very, very careful of who you let mess with your credit. You got to be very careful who you let say, well, let me run this. And people will not necessarily tell you the truth. We do soft pulls because we don't pull your credit. You set up a credit monitoring account and send us what you have found out about your credit to us. We don't pull your credit like that. I do know of cases, I'm not going to mention anybody, but who have applied for credit with certain funders. And the funders might say, we have 12 people we're going to look at for funding. What they don't tell you is that they're going to send your stuff to 12 different people. You got 12 pulls of your credit.
Yeah.
So if the first 1 or 2 don't say yes, 3 through 12 going to tell you no because you got too many inquiries. And you got no credit score. Your credit score is destroyed.
Destroyed.
So it might take you 6 months to a year to even get to a position where you can apply for credit. So, and they don't necessarily tell you that when you go to these people, but you have to make sure these are soft pulls.
Yeah.
They don't tell you that. And don't let someone say, well, I'm going to look at 10, 15, 20 funders for you. You can say, well, am I going to have 12, 15, 20 credit pulls? No one's going to agree to that.
Yeah.
If you don't, if number 1 or 2 don't say yes to you, you are, you're dead in the water.
Well, Mr. Ron, we're up. What time is it? 1:08. We were at 1:08. It was a great show today. I appreciate Miss Vanessa and those of you who tried to join, but something happened. We had a couple of other people who wanted to join us and didn't work out for whatever reason. And also, I think in the email, they may have thought that clicking that link would just allow them to watch the show. And when they saw that they had the opportunity to be on the show, they might have got a little spooked by it. Not everybody is ready for lights, camera, action. So
right.
But but that's what this show is going to be about, for opportunity for us to come on camera. We're in a virtual world now, and it's very easy for all of us to come together. We've got almost 2,000 members. And so what we want to do is get to know one another. This lady's been in my list. You're a member of the list, and you just met each other. And you have something to offer her in terms of financing. And I'm looking at her website, and I'm like, these are some great looking products. And I'm getting ready to delve more into what she does. And so it's all about connecting. And so that's what we have to do here at BBL is use the power of the technology that we have so that we can become, what we need to be for each other. So, Mr. Ron, I thank you for joining us and sharing your expertise and developing this program. I think it's awesome. And when you combine what you do with what we're going to be doing in terms of education and getting people ready, we're just going to have like a battalion of folks that are just ready They click your link and they got all the I's dotted and T's crossed. It's going to be fantastic because we're going to make sure that we pour into all of our members and educate, and we're going to learn from each other and have mentors in the group. It's going to be a really great thing. So I'm just really excited about the rest of this year and going into next year.
I'm looking forward to it. I'll say one thing that I've been to many different like expos, especially Black expos, and I have never gone to one where I didn't learn about a Black business
Mm-hmm.
that were really doing some really good things, have some real good products, and I had no idea they had this business.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I said, well, wow, you're doing this. I did not know this existed and whatever. And I'm glad, hope this Black Business List, we do get virtual. And when we have, you see, might have a group on Facebook or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
but we can talk to each other and share ideas and share products because we have the skills.
Oh, yeah. Yes.
We have the products. We have the desire. All we got to do is know who each other is. Learn each other. Know who we are.
Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. That's a good place to leave it. So, Mr. Ron, thank you so much. It's been a great week. Can't wait to have you back next week. And yeah, we are going to be doing some experimentation, guys, with the Facebook group. And we might have some kind of virtual networking mixer type events where, maybe after hours, we all just get together on camera, or maybe lunchtime, we get together on camera just to kind of know each other. It can be like up to 50 people in a room. Very similar to like a Zoom situation if you've been on a large Zoom call.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we're going to be playing around with that because it's 2021. It's time to turn up. We got to turn it up a little bit, turn up the temperature.
Right.
All right.
And the more things change, the more they remain the same. Nobody's going to help us if we don't help ourselves. Ain't nobody, nobody is out there breaking their black backs to to help us.
Amen. That's it.
I mean, I'm serious. I mean, I ain't getting political, but we know what's going on in the world.
That's right.
So,
that's right. You're absolutely right. Well, thank you, sir. It's been great.
All right.
We'll see you next week.
All right. Great to be
here. All right,
here.
everybody. Thank you for watching. This has been the BBL TV Money Show. And of course, we're going to be doing this every Wednesday at 12 noon. And so I promise I'll send out the email a little sooner too. So you can get prepared to get on camera, get your makeup together, guys, get your haircut right. So we'll do that and we'll be back next week. All right. Thanks, guys. Take care.
Take care.